Hey everyone, in the shop here with car 7, along with some other B46s in the back here. But I'm going to make a couple videos on the assembly of this car. It's supposed to be done in a couple weeks, and we're working hard to get it together. I planned on starting this before we had some parts on it, but unfortunately my engineer is actually too fast at building cars. So yeah, I'm going to go over this and talk about a couple of the features and our production process. So this, as I said, is car 7. Car 8 is at paint right now, and we've got car 9 in fab over here. This car is going to get a nice wrap on Monday, so we're trying to prep everything. We were sanding a few last things to make sure it's perfect for the wrap. I'd actually planned on, like I said, making a video before this about this car when we were starting assembly, but I was busy with some other stuff, and so they were already making good progress on it. So at this point, we've got the fuel cell in. You can see where we have a laser cut plate that we weld in here for the fuel cell. We've got our rear air jack and diff rear trunk cover. We obviously cut this whole part out right here. And we have a laser cut piece that we put in. It also mounts our diff cooling assembly, which all just gets pre-assembled. And so we have that, we just glue it in. The whole thing just installs pretty easily. And then we've got the pedal assembly in. Front air jacks are installed already. Pedal assembly with all our pre-made lines. We set all this up long before we put it in the car. And the drivetrain, go around here. Got the drivetrain mostly in. And then we're going to start running the power steering and the obviously cooling hoses, get the front clip on the car and all that. So we also talk about a couple of these things. So this is our pedal assembly, adjustable brake bias, non-boosted brakes. So we get rid of the whole, usually the brake booster goes right here. That's all gone. We still run ABS. We run the MK60 unit, and we make these little parts to add in the pressure sensors. We also try and make working on this car a little easier. So we've got right here, this is our clutch bleed valve. So you can easily bleed the clutch without having to be underneath the car. This is also the clutch pressure sensor right there, the T for that, so that we can read clutch pressure to make our auto blip downshifting work precisely. And then right here we've got the, this is our fuel block. So it's 3D printed aluminum, but we have the fuel drain disconnect, fuel input, and these will go out to the port injection and high pressure rail over here. And then fuel pressure, low side fuel pressure sensor, which then feeds over here and goes to the high pressure pump and high pressure sensor to feed fuel to the motor. So I just went up with the car to be able to get to the underside. So these are all, this whole kind of front thing is a subassembly. We assemble it outside of the car, get the motor onto the subframe along with the whole suspension and everything. Obviously the sway bar has to be installed a little separately, but try and do as much stuff as we can off the car. This is actually where we're at now, is about 2 days of actual car assembly, or what I call final assembly. So the whole drivetrain was already kind of put together, the clutch is in there and everything else. We've got our fuel lines. We also use a quick disconnect on the clutch, so if you have to pull the motor, you don't have to bleed the clutch again. That makes it a lot easier, because clutches can be a total pain. Our flex fuel sensor and brake lines, and then we come back to our fuel cell, 26 gallons, made by Pyrotech for us. Also available if you want one for an E46. And then the whole rear subassembly as well. So this all got assembled beforehand. Rebuilt the brake calipers, all new sphericals. In the bushings, we use SPL lower arms. Rebuilt fresh axles. Rebuilt diff with cause unit inside, and solid subframe bushings, spherical, everything else. So we use some Garagistic bearings in the trailing arms, and I think that's about it. Back here you can get a better view of our diff cooler as well. We run a filter and a diff temp sensor in line, so that'll get hooked up shortly. But we use a lot of Cetrab parts on these cars, a lot of the fittings and their cooler, their pump. We use their oil cooler as well, which is not on the car yet. So yeah, this is basically day 2 of assembly. I'm going to try and make a couple videos about the assembly of the car and how quick it goes. Thanks for watching.